Hello, tubies. How y'all doing? It's been a minute since I uploaded a video, so on and so forth. Love, love, all that fun stuff. I bought this at Michael's because it looked cool. And I needed to make a new prosperity oil because I totally forgot what was in my other one. And I'm running out. But I have been using specific herbs in my prosperity spells. And when I talk about prosperity spells, I don't just mean, bring me money, stuff like that. This is very specific. This is very, if I'm waiting to get paid, or if they said that they've paid me but it hasn't gone through yet, this is where I will employ patron Saint Michael and read a specific psalm and request that he goes out and collects the money because he's a tax collector, right? So I want to make sure that the money that is owed to me is brought to me in a timely fashion. And this has worked in the past. Little story. So almost a week ago now, my work had stated that they had paid me and that they had wire transferred the money. Well, usually when somebody wire transfers me money, it's in the bank within 1 to 2 hours. And in this case, it took an entire day. So I had woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day, and I had done some magic with prosperity oil, green candle, and the herbs that I'm about to put into here, and petitioned patron Saint Michael and asked him to go out and collect the money. And within 4 hours, the money was in the account. So that just goes to show how powerful prosperity oils, monies, saints, spell work, so on and so forth can be. Now, what's important to understand here is that what works for me might not work for you. It's not going to work for everybody, okay? So keep in mind that just because I use these herbs doesn't mean you have to use these herbs. Just because I use the oil that I'm going to use as a base doesn't mean you have to use that oil as a base. Everybody's magical craft is different. Everybody's magical path is different. There is no one right way to do anything. There is no one right way to make hotfoot powder or do a honey jar spell or whatever the case may be. There are different types of traditions that state certain things should be done certain ways, but as long as you're honoring and respecting those traditions, anything can be done in any way. So I'm going to fill up this jar today, and I'm going to be putting my intentions in because the intentions here is that I want money to come in my direction. Now, I've already blessed and consecrated this jar. You should always bless and consecrate your jars, but then again, remember, it's your craft, it's your practice, you do you, I do me. I'm just sharing tidbits of my craft. So one of the things that we want to make sure, at least in my particular case, okay, this is my case, your case may be different, again with the everybody's craft is different part. In my case, I need to make sure that I'm bringing in the money that I need in order to make sure that the bills are paid, the rent is paid, there's food on the table, there's, money left over for the cats, for myself, so on and so forth. I want to really make sure that the money that's coming to me is the money that will help me to pay the bills. This isn't about getting out of debt. This isn't about making sure I have money to buy a nice new car, a new house, or new clothes, or whatever. This is about survival. This is only about survival. And to make sure that the money that's coming to me is the money that I can use to make sure that the roof over my head, the car in the parking spot, the bills that keep me going, and that there's food on the table. We don't want to get greedy. Now, normally, I will also use prosperity oils to get greedy. And an example of that is that I have a credit card that I'm trying to pay off right now, and I will sometimes do money spells to bring in extra money. I call that being greedy, but that's just me. Everybody's craft is different, everybody's thought process is different, just calm down. So, the first herb that I'm going to put in, and I'm going to be putting intentions in with every herb, is basil. Who doesn't love basil? So we want to take a minute to put our intentions in. Okay? And you want to take as long as you need to make sure that all of the intentions that you want are placed into the herbs. Now you can do this any way you want. You can mix it all together and then put your intentions in. You can do it one herb at a time. You can put a pinch in and enchant that pinch and so on and so forth. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You do whatever feels right to you, and you put in whatever herbs feel right to you. Okay? The next thing I'm going to put in is a little bit of rosemary. And again, I'm just going to take that minute to enchant this. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to put in is some I can never say this right. Sagrada Bark. And I use this in all of my money spells. A little will go a long way. And again, I'm just going to enchant this. I'm also going to put in some bay leaves. I'm going to put in about 5. I'm going to try and keep them whole. And again, we enchant with all of our intentions. And finally, I'm going to put in some marigolds. And again, I'm going to enchant this. And finally, for the oil base, I'm going to use coconut oil because it's clear, doesn't go rancid. Any oil base will really work for this particular type of oil. I like to fill that right up. Good shake. Get that basil mixed in there too. Such a pretty oil. And again, I'm going to enchant this with more intentions. So what I plan to do with this oil off screen is read some psalms over it and burn a specific incense that patron Saint Matthew likes, as I've been petitioning him this entire time to help enchant and imbue this oil. What's really important to understand is that whenever you enchant or imbue an oil or put your intentions into something, keep in mind that they are your intentions and that you want to be very specific. In this case, I want this oil to help bring in the money that is owed to me, bring it to me in a timely fashion, and to also make sure that those who owe me money pay me on time, and that they pay me in full, which I've never had a problem with. The biggest issue I seem to have is being paid on time. It's very important that I get paid on time. Anyhow, as I continue to petition him, and I will continue to enchant and imbue this oil, I won't be straining the ingredients from it. It's just too beautiful to do that with. This oil can be used to anoint candles, sachets, yourself, jewelry, parts of your house, whatever the case may be. Okay? You can substitute any ingredient for any other ingredient as long as you put your intentions in. I know a lot of people argue about making sure that, you get the right ingredients, that certain herbs are only used for certain things, and so on and so forth. A good example is rosemary is apparently only used for protection, or lavender is only used for love, or sage is only used for cleansing. But at the same time, if you're putting your intentions in, you can use any herb for anything. Okay, I mean, this is nothing new to the community. Everybody knows this, but as more and more new people come into the community, they might not know this. Okay? So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you stick around because I'm going to get a few more out today. Okay? So enjoy, my little witchy creatures.